Good morning. My name is Karen Kong, and I'm a demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And welcome to my This or That Thursday. Although this week it's a little bit different. I don't have two cards for you guys to choose from, because what I decided to do was I was going to show you some alternatives to the October Paper Pumpkin Nests of Christmas kit, and I had fun with this kit. I have made a couple cards, and then I thought I would change it up and try something different, and so that's what we're doing this week. So just give me a second. I'm gonna turn on my computer and get the video going so I can see all your comments this morning. Good morning, Sandra. Thanks for making it this week. It certainly wasn't the same without you there last week. Let me just get my screen up and running. So if you're joining me live, I would love it if you say hi, tell me where you're watching from, ask me questions, anything. Ask questions about what I'm doing, especially if you're like a first-time crafter and you feel like you don't know what you're doing, or you don't understand what I'm doing. Ask questions, okay? All right, I'm almost there. All right, my computer screen is up and running. Let me switch over to my desktop. So close your eyes while I reposition my camera. Oh, it's always weird. See, that's weird. See, I have got my laminated grid paper in the same spot that I always have it every week. And for some reason, it doesn't look like it's centered this week. It's like, I don't know. Okay, that's fine. That looks fine. So here we go. This is the October Nests of Winter, or actually Nests of Christmas paper pumpkin kit. It's super cute. Let me open it up and show you. These are the two cards that I made first. So this one I followed the instructions exactly. So this is what the card is supposed to look like. It's a tri-fold. Let me just show you. It opens up like this. But I think I'm going to definitely pull this apart. Not this particular card. I'm going to pull the pieces apart for the next one, and I'm going to try it differently. I haven't done any alternatives with this particular layout, but I have got several with this other one. So here's the other card. And actually, so if you notice, if you've got this kit, I'll show you what the card is supposed to look like. Okay, so here's the picture of the card, and there's a piece of die cut here, and I omitted it from mine, and I think it still looks really good even without it. I don't think it necessarily needs that piece, so that's where I started from, and I pulled that piece and started working with that. Now if you notice, this is an open like a window here. Oh, let me show you how it opens. Okay, so it's like this, similar to the other card. There's a piece that pops out. Okay, when you get this card base, this middle part is in there, and I popped it out, and you get this piece. So they don't use this piece in the kit, and I thought it'd be a really good idea to reuse it. So let me get all the pieces pulled out, and I'll show you the card I made. This is a really great stamp set, by the way. It has like really good sentiments. It's just the basics, which is all you need sometimes, is Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and then joyful thoughts to you this season. And then you've got like a cardinal, a little bit of speckling, and a leaf. Okay, so let's show you the card I made. Here's the card I made using this piece. So what I did was, for my next card, my second card, I pulled out that little guy here by himself, okay, and I stamped behind him, and I used this piece, and then I put it on top of an embossed mat. Can you see that? It's the Snowflake 3D embossing folder that I used, okay? So let's make this one, and then I'll show you the other one that I made we'll see how much time we have this morning. I'm not sure. This is kind of off the beaten path. All right, so it may go faster, it may go slower. So let's make that one card here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of white, and we're going to cut it to size, to a regular card base size, which is 8.5 by 5.5 and folded in half. Okay, so just taking some regular 8.5 by 11. And I'm cutting it in half. Then we're going to score at 4 1/4. Okay, so there's my card base. Now I'm going to take the other half and I'm going to slice it in half because I'm going to emboss this piece. Okay, so 4 1/4. Oh, and I forgot to wish you guys a happy Halloween. It is Halloween here today. I didn't dress up yet. I might put something on for when the kids come around, or actually I'm walking tonight. I'm probably gonna be the one taking my daughter for trick-or-treating, and she's got a lot of stamina. I'm gonna be out there. I think last year I was out there for a couple hours. I was pretty tired. Okay, so here's the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. Let's get that out. Sandra, I think your daughter's a bit too old to... Is she too old to go trick-or-treating, or is that, like, I don't know what the cutoff age is anymore. And what does she dress up as? Did she go to school dressed up? Like, did anybody else's kid go to school dressed up? I think for the younger kids it's quite popular, and Karis, my daughter, definitely loved dressing up. But this year, for some reason, she didn't really care. She just wanted to wear this Pikachu costume that she's loved for the last 3 years or something, and she just barely fits into it. It's too short for her, but she can still fit in, like, the main costume. She just can't sit down. Okay, I'm bringing over my embossing folder. Oh, she did dress up. Nice. And is she gonna go trick-or-treating? Okay, there's my embossing folder. I just needed to grab the top plate because it's a different top plate for this one. Alright, so let's run this through. Oh, I see. Okay, so at this age, at her age, she's going to do the party thing rather than trick-or-treating. Alright, there's my embossed piece. Let's get this out of the way. Alright, so here is my Snowflake Sky. Let's bring back my white card base. And we'll fold that and burnish it. Okay, so this is the exact same size, so it's going to cover the entire card front. And I'm going to have the majority of my snow falling from the sky, and I think it looks beautiful. Oh, okay, that's still fun. Just a get-together with girlfriends for Halloween. I guess that means you and your husband will be the ones handing out the candy at the door. Okay, now be truthful. Did you open your candy already and sample it? We were so good this year. We have not opened the candy. Normally we would have opened it weeks ahead and tried, you know, sampled some of the candy already, but we did not this year. I'm amazed. All right, so there's my card front. Very easy. I just need so there's my extra piece, right? I'm just going to glue it on. You could put it up on dimensionals too if you want, but you know what? The funny thing is that I'm kind of hesitant to put too many dimensionals and too many layers on the card when I think it might be going in the mail, And because I just got one of my cards returned to me from Canada Post because it was too thick. And you know what? It really wasn't. I took it into the post office and asked why it was sent back just to make sure. And the lady said, oh, I think somebody must have been having a bad day because she put it through the slot and it kind of caught, but it still went through fairly easily. So she said, yeah, I think this should have gone through. And but anyway, so that just makes me leery about sending anything with too many layers and dimensionals through the mail, because it may not actually, I may have to put extra postage for it to go. Okay, I'm just catching up on the comments. Yes, Sandra, it is the day of Halloween and we do have to open it today. So I think, you know, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to, you know, taste test for quality, as, you know, before you give it to the kids, right? Okay, so I've already gone ahead and glued that down, and let's stamp this. I just added a few little bits of greenery behind the bird. And I took the color, let's see, so all the colors for the kit are listed on the back, or one of the pages. It says the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors, and I think I picked Shaded Spruce is the one, or Garden Green. I cannot remember. Let me bring in both colors and we'll decide. Okay, here's my Shaded Spruce. And here is Garden Green. I think it was Shaded Spruce, actually. It looks dark. All right, let's go with that. Because, you know, like, it's going to coordinate anyways, because the greens in here are variations of greens, so I think it'll be fine. But this main color is the one I'm aiming to match. All right. I need a block. All right. So before I go ahead and stamp, I'm actually going to take out this piece, and I'm just going to lay it out, because I like to lay things out first to kind of give myself an idea of where that piece, how much it's going to cover and where I should stamp. So here's this little guy. And he's going to sit about here. Okay, so I'm going to stamp one piece of greenery kind of right there. And then one extra piece on the other side. Yeah, I see your question, Sandra. So they managed to, they sent it back to me, but they didn't send it on. Well, I guess it's to teach me a lesson to put in the right postage, because otherwise it won't make it, right? Okay, so these are overlapping, which doesn't matter because the bird's going to cover it up. All right. Yeah, I don't know. So it got sent back to me with a big yellow sticker, and I think the post office person was trying to peel it off so she could continue to send it on for me. But I said, oh, don't worry, because like I'm gonna be seeing that person anyways in a week, so I thought I would just take it. But yeah, that just makes me leery, you know, somebody, if I sent like, you know, 25 cards out and like they were too layered, I would be worried that some of them are going to end up coming back this way. Okay, so that's basically it. Oh, and I need to stamp Joyful Thoughts. So let's use the same color. I'll just peel this off. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to center this up near the top. Okay, I did raise this little guy on dimensional, so that's just that's the only layer that's raised. Anyways, I just got unlucky with that card, but it was just astounding that I would not have even thought that that was going to cause a problem. Literally, it was like not bulky at all. I think I've actually sent bulkier stuff and it did not get sent back to me either. Just somebody having a bad day in the post office. All right, take off the backings. Okay, so put that a little bit lower. Oh, you know what? I just realized I have another piece underneath here. So you know where I got this other piece is I actually fussy cut from the paper. I know, Sandra, you're just loving that sound of those words, aren't you? Fussy cut. Let me see. So I've got, this is from the Nests of Winter DSP. And I just, look, there's a single piece right there. It's not the same one. Maybe I'll fussy cut that one. Actually, you know what? I think I have some pieces already cut out. Let me see if I've already got it cut out so we don't have to spend too much time. Oh, here we go. Yep, I have one already fussy cut from the paper. Awesome. All right, so I'm just gonna stick that underneath here somewhere. And unfortunately, I put, so what happened is I put a dimensional underneath there. Let's see if I can, I'm gonna cut it off. Sandra, you have to start fussy cutting at some point because there's just so many possibilities when you fussy cut some stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna trim this a little bit shorter because I can't slide it underneath my my dimensional. So I'm gonna cut it shorter and then I can just adhere it right there, right? Because it's gonna be covered up by the bow. But yeah, I have made so many cards just by fussy cutting, and I didn't need any dies. I didn't need to buy the stamp set. I really just liked the paper, and I made full use of it, so I could get layering on my cards and get the effect that I wanted. All right, so it's not perfect there, but you know what? I'm going to cover that up with a red ribbon. So I have real red ribbon. Let's just tie some small red ribbon for this. I know, Sandra. It's not for everybody, but I'm just telling you the possibilities are just all there when you fussy cut. So yeah, that's how I ended up with this piece. I didn't realize it until I went to put this together and realized that I didn't have this piece here, and I just cut that from the DSP so that I could fill that little empty spot in. Whoops, there we go. So I'm just tying my ribbon on the spool because then I don't waste anything. Because I find, well, it's really hard to work with when it's really, really short, but then I also find that sometimes I make a mistake in how much I thought I needed, and then I have to go recut, and I can't use that piece that I originally cut. So this way, I minimize my wastage when I tie it right on the spool. There we go. Shorten this side just a smidgen. There we go. So there's my ribbon, and I'm going to use a glue dot to attach that. Let's see. That's all empty. Okay, I'm just going to press it down on top of the glue dot, pick it up. Okay. Oh, I pulled that a little bit too much. I can tell it's not even. There we go. And we're going to stick it right here. And there you go. That was a quick and easy alternate card. Right there. So super simple, using pretty much everything that came in the kit except for extra white cardstock and a little bit of ribbon, and you're good to go. So that's one alternate. Let me set that aside and show you the other one I made, if I can find it. That's funny. Of course, it's probably somewhere where I can see it and I just don't realize it's there. Did I cover it up? Oh, it's right in front of me, seriously. Okay, here's the other one I created. This is the other alternate card that I created. So that one, okay, so if you remember, this card, I didn't change the basics, but you see how there's this empty spot here? This, again, is a piece of paper that you push out when you get the card, right? So let me show you. Okay, so let's grab the card base for this one. And see, this is the original card base for this card. And to use it, I just punch out this center section. So of course, I can use this center section. And I actually took this center section and I embossed it with a retired embossing folder. It is the, let me get that out. It's the Wintry 3D embossing folder. It came as a set of 2 with the snowflakes. So I had to actually emboss this halfway, and then because it's too skinny, right? Actually, you know what? I don't know if I ever realized it. It actually fits exactly. I had assumed that this was like too wide, so I did half and half, but it actually fits exactly. That's a nice surprise. Okay, so let's emboss that. And if you'll notice, I don't think the color in this paper is all the way through because it's white on the other side. So what happened is when I embossed it, you get a little bit of white coming through, which I think actually adds to the texture. That's fine. I think it still looks good. Okay, let's get this embossing machine back here. Okay, and we'll put this inside. I can't believe this fit exactly and I didn't even notice. What a happy surprise. Okay, let's run that through. There you go. So there we have a little bit of texture added to our cardstock. Makes a nice background. So I'm going to need some real red cardstock for the back of this. So I'm just working in real time. Usually I like to pull out all my supplies ahead of time, so I'm not searching for colors and ink pads, but I was actually busy creating a third alternate card this morning, which I'll show you at the end. I'm not quite done the last card, but I think you get the idea. Alright, so we need red cardstock. I'm going to cut this in half. Okay, 5.5 inches. You know, I have other paper pumpkin kits that I did not, I don't know if I made too many alternates, but this is the first time, because I had the matching, I had matching DSP. It really encouraged me to play with this set, and I actually haven't even used much of the DSP, except for that little branch. Okay, let's move these out of the way. And then I have a piece of crumb cake here. I don't even remember what the measurements are. Let's measure and see. Just looking for my ruler. So I added about, this is a 1/16 of an inch around the borders of my, my green matting piece. So this is about, I would say, it's kind of like in between 4 and 5/8. And 3.5, approximately, right? Okay, I need crumb cake. Let's see. I don't think I have a leftover piece that's quite big enough to cut something. So 4 and 5/8 is what I think I said I had, but let's see. I'm just going to put this right on the paper and kind of gauge from there. Okay, I'm going to cut here. And I think it was close to 3.5. It's like a, oops, 3.5. It was like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the measurements I'm saying. Okay, so 3.5 minus a 1/16 of an inch. I cannot do the math in my head right now. Okay. So here we go. We're just going to mat that on there. Sandra, I know you have a few kits. You don't have a lot of kits, I think, but do you normally aim to try to use up any extra pieces that you have? Like I keep anything that looks like I can use. I haven't necessarily gone and done anything with them yet, but this, except for this one, because I knew I had the coordinating DSP for it. Oops, this is just a little bit crooked. And that's the beauty of using glue, is that I can wiggle it still. All right. Okay, and we'll take the card base. Oh, okay, so then does she, well, when she's done with the kit, does it go, do you get rid of everything? Like, well, not the stamp set, obviously, but like any remaining pieces, do you just get rid of them? I guess because if you're not the one using the kit, then you wouldn't necessarily be inspired to go and use the leftover pieces then. Okay, so that's centered, I think. All right. And where did, okay, so this piece was that leftover piece from this card. Remember there was an arbor piece here? I didn't use it, right? So that's where I used it on this card. Just gotta make sure I take the right one. Oh, I'm sure you're going to use all the pieces for that, even if it's not in the, since it's scrapbooking, you're not going to be following any of the layouts, I guess, that are meant for that kit. Okay, or actually I put it up here. Oh, let's see. I have a tip for you guys with the ribbon, but let me get this adhered first, and then we'll stamp the sentiment. Let me just find. I'm just looking for. Okay, well let's stick this on first, because I do have the cardinal stamped and ready to go. Oops, didn't quite have a grip on that. Okay, so here, let's put this down. And I do have a cardinal. This is not the one that came with the kit. The kit one is much bigger. Okay, I stamped that one using the stamp set. And I'm just looking for my, oh, here we go. All right, so I stamped a bunch of birds in preparation for playing with them. And I already used one on the other alternate card that I haven't showed you yet. So I will show you that later, but let's cut out this guy. I'm just gonna cut around him to make it easier for me to hold and to fussy cut. He's not too bad. I mean, this is pretty easy. It's not like trying to cut around flowers and leaves and stuff, but so I don't find the fussy cutting to be too tedious. Look at that, I'm almost done. I think his feet are probably the only tricky part. It's not too bad either. Alright, that was not too bad. Okay, so there's my bird, and I will put him up on dimensionals. So let's put a few dimensionals behind his body. So I had colored him in already. I stamped him and then colored him in with real red, and I put pumpkin pie for his beak. I actually had to look that up. I didn't know what color a cardinal's beak was, and it turns out it's orange. Let's put one down here. Just gonna remove all the backings and then we'll stick them on. Yeah, it depends on what kind of leftover pieces there are. Like this particular set, because it had such big leftover pieces, it was easy to see that they would be useful for other cards. Oh, and he's much higher than I expected. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave him there. Okay, so there he is. Let's stamp the sentiment, and we will use Happy Holidays. If I can just find it. Okay, I'm going to just clean off my other stamps first. And I need Happy Holidays. goes here. Okay, so now I just need a piece of white scrap. And I'm going to stick with the shaded spruce for this. Just trying to decide where to put it. Okay. All right, so I fussy cut around here, and I was just debating if I should just make it a straight rectangle this time, but I'm gonna make it straight, I think. Let's get the paper trimmer out to see how it looks. Okay, so I don't want to cut off the Y there. Just making sure. And I'm thinking about whether or not I should flag it, or if I should just leave it a straight edge. I think I'm going to flag it this time. We'll just cut off a tiny bit there. So if you've never flagged the end, I mean, they do have dies for this, but really, for everyday stamps, any stamps, you can do it easily this way. So I just cut in the middle, and then I make 2 angled cuts like this to my original cut. And that gives me a very slight flag at the end. And what I did was I actually took some other red ribbon that I have. I have a ruffled red ribbon. Where's my card? Okay, so I don't know if you can see that little ruffle there, but I've decided that I don't want that little ruffle. I'm going to use the same real red that I used for the other card. So I'm just going to have a little bit of it stick out here. You really don't need much, just enough to stick it behind. So I'm going to put a little bit of Stampin' Seal there. And that will allow me to reposition if I need to. So I can pull it off and reposition as many times as I like. So, just going to place it like that. So there, I have that little bit of red sticking out. Okay, so I do have a tip for you on this. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals. Now, they do give you red ribbon with the kit, and the intention when they designed it is you're supposed to use the entire strip that they give you in the size they give you. So I'll bring this down for you to look at. So that's what's in the kit. But I found that it was actually just a little bit short, and that you could barely see the ribbon, whoops, behind the sentiment piece, which is this. Okay, so all our sentiments for this card are on these little banners, but by the time you put that behind there, it's not very visible. So anyways, here's the completed card, and I'm gonna put like white cardstock insides for writing, but that is the card. So that's another alternate for you. Okay, so my tip about this ribbon, let me just bring back the original card. Okay, here's the original card with one of the banner pieces behind it. Okay, so this just sticks out when I have to tell you, I already modified this one. So what I did, it actually, you can't see it very well. It's just a little bit of red, and I just thought, I want it to show a little bit more. So what I did, I actually cut my ribbon in half so that I could adhere it on both sides and add a little bit of length to the ribbon so that you could actually make it more visible. Okay, so here's the original ribbon, and when you stick it behind, it's like barely there, right? So what you do is you can just slice it in half, and then you can position each piece on either side and have it stick out just a little bit more, which is exactly what I've done here. Okay. So what I was just thinking, actually, instead of just you know, using these, you could actually get 3 pieces out of this, right? So if you're going to cut it in 2 anyways, you could cut 3 pieces and then save that little red extra piece. If you don't have any real red ribbon like I do, you can save that 3rd piece to use for this card, right? Because all you need is a smidgen sticking out. You really don't need much. It's just to add a little bit of accent. So that's where you can get more ribbon out of your existing ribbon, and then make it more visible for this the original cards too. So that's a tip there. So that is the 2 cards that I had made for today's live, but I actually have a 3rd alternate, which I was working on this morning because I had more pieces I was playing with. So I was, you know, thinking, what am I going to do with the original little bird that had the double with it. Where am I cannot find it. It's somewhere on my desk. Okay, I don't know where it is. So easy to, oh, here we go. All right, so here's the original design, right? So I was left with this piece behind here, which is this guy. Right, so that's this one. So I now had this guy on its own because I had taken this one bird and put it on here. Right, so I thought, well, what am I going to do with this whole piece? So what I did was that I took it and I stamped another bird and colored him in, I think that's blueberry. Blueberry, what is the actual name? Nope, that's not it. I'm trying to look for my lens marker that I used. Oh, blueberry bushel. Okay, so I colored him in blueberry bushel, and I cut apart the card base, and I used, here it is. So this card base here, I cut this one off. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to do something with this leftover piece, but that's for another day. But I cut off that blue piece and I made it into a mat. And if you recognize this, this layout is from a card I made several weeks ago, and I'm not quite done. I just need to put the happy holidays on. I'm not sure if I want to actually stick it down here, or maybe I'll just stamp happy there and cut out the holiday here and put it down here. So I still have to finish it, but you get the idea, right? So you can get another card out of the by cutting apart the card base and using it like this. So I think I'm really happy with this card, except that I just need to finish the sentiment. And then I use the, so I had to trim that mat down, right? This patterned piece of paper. And I used the extra strips to decorate the inside. Oh, I didn't do it yet. I thought I did it. I had cut off those extra pieces. Where did they go? Oh, here they are. Okay, so the extra strips that I cut off here, I'm going to use it on the inside. Okay, we're going to glue it down on top here, and I'm just going to trim it off, and it looks fantastic, I think. Let me just do that before I lose this piece again. Okay, I'm going to just use some tear tape. Oh yes, Sandra, I do recall that incident where we ran out of ribbon and we had to economize what we had left by cutting them apart just like that. I think we did a really good job. Okay. Oops, that's a little bit sticking out. Oh well. Okay, we'll just trim this off. And that is going to go on the inside of my card. And that will... I'll post the finished card later once I'm done with the sentiment and I'm happy with it. But I think that makes a great third alternate card. So that is it for today. We're almost at the hour, which is perfect timing. But yeah, it was pretty easy to create alternate cards from this set, especially if you have the DSP to help you extend your supplies and make something different, right? Let me just put them all out here for you to see. So that's it for today. It's funny, I'm making Christmas cards and it's Halloween, so I hope everybody has a great Halloween and enjoy the candy. And I will see you next week, and happy crafting, everybody. Bye!